Touch me again while I'm giving emergency care and I'll have you charged with interfering with a medical professional, I warned, my voice serious. Most people would have backed off, but Karen wasn't most people. She pulled out her phone again, but this time, she wasn't recording. She was calling someone. Yes, security, this is Karen Wilkins, HOA president, she said. I need you at the Johnson house right away. We have someone doing something they shouldn't. I couldn't believe it. She called the private security team that patrolled our neighborhood, and to my surprise, they responded. Within minutes, 2 security guards showed up, just as I heard the ambulance sirens. This man is messing with our community rules, Karen said, pointing at me. I want him removed now. The guards looked confused, glancing between me doing CPR and Karen's angry face. Ma'am, he seems to be helping with a medical emergency, one of them said. Karen's face turned red with anger. I don't care what it looks like. All rules say that only authorized emergency services can handle medical situations. He's just a resident and has no right to act as a medical professional here. Her statement was absurd, but the situation was too serious for me to argue. One of the security guards, clearly intimidated by Karen, actually tried to pull me away from Mr. Johnson. Just then, the ambulance arrived, and my coworkers rushed in. They froze for a moment at the strange sight, me doing CPR, a security guard trying to stop me, and Karen standing there with her rulebook. What's going on here? My supervisor, Dave, asked as he quickly took control of the situation. This man is in cardiac arrest, and this woman is trying to stop me from helping, I explained while still doing CPR. Dave immediately took over, and the security guards, realizing how serious this was, backed off. But Karen wasn't done. I want him arrested, she screamed, pointing at me. He broke several HOA rules and wouldn't listen to security. Dave gave her a look of disbelief but didn't waste any time going back to Mr. Johnson. The guards, to their credit, stood aside awkwardly as the medical team worked. Thanks to our quick actions, Mr. Johnson was stabilized and taken to the hospital. As the ambulance left, I was left standing in the backyard with Karen and the 2 security guards. I was exhausted, but Karen was just getting started. This will be reported to the HOA board, she told me with satisfaction. Expect big fines, and you might even get evicted. Something in me snapped. Not in an angry way, but more like a realization. I told her calmly, you tried to stop me from giving emergency care. You physically tried to stop me from saving a man's life. You called security to have me removed while I was keeping him alive. Do you realize what you've just done? For the first time, I saw doubt in Karen's eyes, but it quickly disappeared behind her angry expression. Our bylaws clearly say, she started. I cut her off. The law says interfering with emergency care is a crime. HOA rules don't override state law. I pulled out my phone. I think it's time I made my own call. The investigation happened quickly. With the testimony of my fellow paramedics, Mrs. Johnson, and Karen's own video of the incident, the case was clear. Karen was charged with obstructing emergency services, attempted assault, and filing a false report. The security company was also being investigated for their response to her call. But that wasn't all. Mr. Johnson recovered, and after hearing what happened while he was unconscious, he filed a lawsuit against Karen and the HOA for putting his life in danger. The lawsuit was for $5 million, citing emotional distress, reckless endangerment, and more. The other charges made Karen's face grow even paler with every one that was read. The last HOA meeting I went to was unlike any other. The community room was full, with people spilling out into the hallway. Karen sat alone at the front table, with no one there to support her like usual. The HOA's lawyer spoke first, explaining that the HOA's insurance wouldn't cover the legal costs because of a clause about willful misconduct. This meant that if the lawsuit succeeded, every homeowner could be personally responsible for a part of the damages. The vote to remove Karen from the HOA board was unanimous, including votes from people who had always been her biggest supporters. When the decision was announced, Karen's face went through different emotions, first disbelief, then anger, and finally, a crushing realization. When they announced the criminal penalties, including a $50,000 fine and a possible 3-year prison sentence, depending on her trial's outcome, Karen's carefully maintained image finally fell apart. Her mouth opened and closed without making a sound, like a fish out of water. And just like that, her time as the ruler of Sunny Meadows ended suddenly.